This iconic photograph captures General Douglas MacArthur wading ashore during the Leyte landing in the Philippines on October 20, 1944. With his trademark aviator sunglasses and determined stride, MacArthur leads his staff and military personnel through the shallow surf after disembarking from a landing craft. This moment marked the beginning of the Philippines' liberation from Japanese occupation, fulfilling MacArthur's famous promise, "I shall return." The invasion of Leyte was a crucial step in the Pacific Campaign, leading to fierce battles as U.S. and Filipino forces fought to reclaim the islands. This image, widely circulated during the war, became a powerful symbol of resilience and American military dominance. With AI restoration, the details of their soaked uniforms, the rippling water, and the determined expressions on their faces become even clearer, reviving the significance of this historic moment. The triumphant return of a general, and the beginning of Japan's downfall in the Pacific. This iconic photograph, taken on August 17, 1943, captures General George S. Patton speaking with Colonel Lyle Bernard near Messina, Sicily, during the final hours of the Sicilian campaign, Operation Husky. Patton, leaning on a U.S. Army vehicle and wearing his signature 3-star helmet and gloves, listens as Bernard, his face worn from battle, gestures while discussing the frontline situation. That same day, Patton's troops entered Messina, securing victory and officially completing the Allied conquest of Sicily. This triumph was a major milestone in the war, giving the Allies a stepping stone for the invasion of mainland Italy. Patton's aggressive tactics and rapid maneuvers had allowed him to reach Messina before British General Bernard Montgomery, fueling an intense rivalry between the two commanders. Through AI restoration, the details of their uniforms, the dust from battle, and the hardened expressions of these men are brought back to life, capturing the precise moment when victory in Sicily was sealed. This dramatic World War II photograph captures a Grumman TBF Avenger torpedo bomber launching off the deck of an aircraft carrier, its landing gear still extended as it climbs into the open sky. The image, taken from the flight deck, highlights the raw power and precision of carrier-based aviation, where pilots had only a short runway and the ship's momentum to aid their takeoff. The Avenger, a workhorse of the U.S. Navy, played a pivotal role in the Pacific theater, delivering devastating torpedo strikes against enemy ships and conducting long-range patrol missions. In the background, a destroyer or escort vessel cuts through the waves, part of the naval task force that ensured the dominance of Allied carrier fleets. AI restoration enhances the fine details, the aircraft's rugged fuselage, the tension in the ship's deck equipment, and the distant horizon, bringing this moment of wartime aviation back to life, a testament to the skill and bravery of the carrier pilots of World War II. This historic photograph captures Sea Squadron crossing the River Elbe at Geesthacht, Germany, in April 1945, during the final push into Nazi territory in World War II. A Sherman tank loaded with troops carefully makes its way across a makeshift Bailey Bridge, an essential piece of Allied engineering that allowed forces to advance rapidly over destroyed infrastructure. Soldiers on foot move alongside, ensuring the crossing is secure as the campaign to defeat Nazi Germany enters its final stages. The Elbe River crossings were crucial in linking up Western Allied forces with the advancing Soviet Red Army, effectively sealing the fate of the Third Reich. This moment symbolizes the relentless drive of the Allies to bring the war to a close, with armored columns rolling deeper into Germany. AI restoration enhances the fine details. The rugged metal of the bridge, the mud-streaked tank treads, and the determined expressions of the soldiers, bringing this pivotal moment in history back to life, when victory was within sight, but dangers still remained. This intense wartime photograph captures U.S. Marines in combat during the Battle of Okinawa, April-June 1945, as one soldier raises his M1A1 Thompson submachine gun, aiming at a suspected Japanese sniper hidden among the devastation. His comrade crouches low, gripping his M1 carbine, scanning the battlefield for movement. The landscape is a shattered wasteland, charred tree trunks, broken earth, and the remnants of brutal fighting. Okinawa was one of the most grueling battles of the Pacific War, with fierce Japanese resistance, kamikaze attacks, and some of the bloodiest ground combat of World War II. Snipers and entrenched defenders made every inch of progress costly. Through AI restoration, the grit of war is sharpened. The tension in the Marines' faces, the dust on their uniforms, and the destruction around them, bringing this harrowing moment of battle back to life, where survival depended on quick reflexes and unbreakable resolve. This historic photograph captures General Dwight D. Eisenhower speaking with paratroopers of the 101st Airborne Division on June 5, 1944, the night before the D-Day invasion of Normandy. Eisenhower, Supreme Commander of the Allied Expeditionary Force, addresses the soldiers with a determined expression, offering final words of encouragement before they board aircraft for one of the most daring airborne operations in military history. The paratroopers, faces smeared with camouflage paint, stand ready, their gear packed for the dangerous drop behind enemy lines. The 23 tag on one soldier identifies him as part of the 502nd Parachute Infantry Regiment, who would land in German-occupied France in the early hours of June 6, 1944, securing key roads and bridges to aid the beach landings. With AI restoration, this moment becomes even more vivid. The tension in the troops' expressions, the mud on their boots, and the weight of history in Eisenhower's eyes, bringing to life the final hours before the largest amphibious invasion in history. This powerful photograph captures American troops aboard a landing craft, LCVP, approaching the beaches of Normandy on D-Day, June 6, 1944. Packed tightly together, the soldiers sit in tense silence, their faces obscured by their helmets, gripping their weapons and gear as they brace for the chaos awaiting them on the shoreline. White cloth strips tied to their helmets and shoulders serve as identification markers in the confusion of battle. The ramp is still up, shielding them from enemy fire, for now. Within moments it will drop, and they will charge into the storm of machine gun fire, artillery, and beach obstacles, fighting for every inch of ground. The churning sea, the wake of another landing craft ahead, and the soldiers' frozen anticipation embody the gravity of the moment. With AI restoration, every detail, the worn texture of their helmets, the rough fabric of their gear, and the spray of seawater, is sharpened, bringing this defining moment of courage, fear, and duty back to life. These men were the vanguard of the largest amphibious invasion in history, stepping into the fire to liberate Europe. This historic photograph captures American troops landing on Omaha Beach during the D-Day invasion on June 6, 1944, the largest amphibious assault in history. The soldiers, part of the Allied invasion of Nazi-occupied France, wade through the rough surf under heavy German fire, carrying rifles, explosives, and other essential gear. Some crouch to retrieve supplies, while others push forward toward the heavily fortified beachhead. In the background, landing craft, LSTs, and warships churn the waters, reinforcing the relentless tide of men and machines storming Normandy. The expressions of the soldiers reveal the weight of the mission, determined, focused, and fully aware of the danger ahead. Omaha Beach saw some of the fiercest resistance, with high casualties as troops braved machine gun fire, artillery, and beach obstacles. AI restoration enhances the raw details, the soaked uniforms, the muddy shoreline, and the tension in the soldiers' faces, bringing to life this defining moment when courage and sacrifice turned the tide of World War II. This striking wartime photograph captures Field Marshal Erwin Rommel, the infamous Desert Fox, leading his Africa Corps in North Africa during World War II, 1941 to 1943. Standing in a dusty command vehicle, Rommel, wearing his signature goggles and field cap, surveys the barren desert battlefield with a commanding presence. His soldiers, hardened by the harsh conditions, flank him, some gripping weapons, others scanning the endless sands for enemy movement. The image reflects the intense, fast-moving tank battles of the North African campaign, where Rommel's strategic brilliance made him one of the most respected and feared commanders of the war. However, despite early victories, the Africa Corps would ultimately be defeated by Allied forces at El Alamein and Tunisia. AI restoration brings sharper detail to this historical moment. The grit on their uniforms, the sandblasted vehicle, and the unyielding desert stretching beyond. A glimpse into the high-stakes chess game of desert warfare, where Rommel's legend was forged and ultimately broken. This striking photograph captures a German Wehrmacht soldier, likely from the Heer, Army, or Waffen-SS during World War II. His uniform, equipment, and weapons suggest he is a frontline infantryman, possibly from the Eastern Front or the Western Front during the late war period, 1944-1945. His worn expression and dirt-covered gear reflect the exhaustion of prolonged combat. He carries a Carabiner 98K bolt-action rifle, the standard-issue weapon for German infantry, and is equipped with multiple steel stick grenades, ammunition pouches, and a field pack. His M35 Stahlhelm steel helmet is slightly dented, showing the wear of battle. The Edelweiss insignia on his sleeve suggests he may be part of a Gebirgsjäger mountain troops division, known for their harsh combat in mountainous and winter conditions. The road behind him, scattered with abandoned equipment and vehicles, hints at a retreat or a moment of regrouping during a chaotic battle. With AI restoration, the details of his uniform, the dirt on his face, and the realism of war are brought into sharper focus, capturing the stark reality of a soldier fighting in the final years of World War II. As the sun casts sharp shadows on the pavement, 3 Montford Point Marines stride forward with quiet confidence, their crisp uniforms pressed against the warm breeze. Their posture is firm, their expressions composed, embodying the discipline and determination instilled in them through rigorous training. The Marine in the center carries a small bag, his polished boots reflecting the sunlight as he keeps pace with his brothers in arms. Though they walk together as equals, they bear the weight of history on their shoulders, pioneers in a segregated military, proving their worth in a corps that once refused to see them as Marines. Today, AI breathes new life into this moment, restoring its details with stunning clarity, enhancing the sharpness of their uniforms, the determined set of their faces, and the vibrance of the world they walk through. With modern technology, voices long unheard are now amplified, and these silent figures, once frozen in time, march forward again, their legacy carried into the digital age, where history is no longer just remembered, but relived. This iconic photograph captures President Franklin D. Roosevelt signing the declaration of war against Japan on December 8, 1941, the day after the attack on Pearl Harbor. His expression is solemn, his pen pressed firmly against the paper as he commits the United States to World War II. Today, AI brings this moment back to life, restoring its details with striking clarity. The deep lines of Roosevelt's face, the weight of history in his furrowed brow, and the ink-stained paper that sealed the fate of nations. Through modern technology, this image transcends its stillness, allowing us to relive the gravity of that day as if we were in the room, standing alongside the president as history was made. This gripping photograph captures U.S. Marines during the Battle of Peleliu, one of the most brutal and unforgiving battles of World War II's Pacific campaign, fought between September and November 1944. The 2 Marines dug into a makeshift foxhole are surrounded by the apocalyptic remains of the battlefield, scorched earth, shattered trees, and the remnants of heavy combat. The Marine on the left, gripping his rifle, leans back in exhaustion, his expression momentarily relaxed, a rare pause in the relentless fighting. The Marine on the right, gripping a .30 caliber Browning M1919 machine gun, wears a hardened look, a cigarette dangling from his lips as he remains alert, ready to fire at a moment's notice. Their helmets, camouflage covers torn and dirt-streaked, bear witness to the intensity of the battle. Peleliu was a nightmarish test of endurance, as U.S. forces fought against a well-entrenched Japanese defense, suffering nearly 10,000 casualties. The island's coral terrain provided little cover, and the sweltering heat only worsened conditions for the Marines. Through AI restoration and enhancement, this moment in history can be brought back with greater clarity, revealing the sweat on their brows, the dust on their uniforms, and the sheer exhaustion behind their eyes. This image is more than just a photograph. It's a testament to the resilience and sacrifice of those who fought in one of the Pacific War's most grueling battles. This harrowing photograph captures U.S. soldiers landing on the beaches of Normandy during D-Day, June 6, 1944. Wet, exhausted, and burdened by heavy gear, they struggle ashore on the treacherous, rocky coastline under the weight of battle. One soldier, barely able to stand, is helped up by his comrades, while others push forward, their rifles slung and faces marked with exhaustion and determination. This moment epitomizes the Allied invasion of Nazi-occupied France, a turning point in World War II that cost thousands of lives but ultimately led to the liberation of Europe. AI restoration enhances the raw details, the soaked uniforms, the rough pebbles beneath their boots, and the relentless surf behind them, bringing this defining moment in history vividly back to life. This iconic wartime photograph captures a British air raid warden, or fire watcher, standing atop a rooftop in London during World War II, scanning the skies with binoculars for incoming German bombers. Dressed in civilian attire with a steel helmet and an over-the-shoulder satchel, he symbolizes the resilience of the British people during the Blitz, 1940 to 1941. Behind him, the dome of St. Paul's Cathedral dominates the skyline, an enduring symbol of London's defiance against the Luftwaffe's relentless bombing campaign. As bombs rained down, fire watchers like him played a critical role in spotting fires and directing firefighting efforts to protect the city. AI restoration brings this moment into sharper focus, enhancing the details of his uniform, the metal of his helmet, and the historic London skyline. This image is more than a snapshot of history. It's a testament to vigilance, resilience, and the unwavering spirit of wartime Britain. Don't forget to like and subscribe to the channel for more epic historic battles, brought to you by Historic Warfare.